Hello guys and welcome back to the Forensics Unplugged channel. I'm going to do a live demo because I like it. Let's turn this off so you don't get the background noise of the battery charging. I'm going to do a live demo of using GYEON primer to finish out your paintwork with the GYEON white finishing pad. You can see my pad's kind of primed. The primer's primed. Now this is interesting. You can see here my finish on this square here is cloudy and white. That's where I've cut it with the extra heavy cutting pad and the Compound Plus and gone at it, you know, to take out the swirls. And then you can see up here a darker, you know, more nicer finish. That's where I finished the GYEON primer all across there and all down there. So what I want to do is show you how easy it is to finish out the paint after cutting it. Now, how much primer should you use? Not a lot. It's a very light polish that's easy to buff off the panel. We'll show you that. Just like three. These are very small dots. Now the pad's kind of not dry, and that is plenty. And as always, you know, if you dot out, like, we'll just do a reasonably small section here. If you dot out, oh, you can't see, sorry, like a dice. You do the 6 on a dice, or you can even do 2 in the middle there, and then create your thin film on speed 1, which just, you know, you could create the film on your polishing speed if you like, but if you go at it at a high speed when it's sitting like that on the panel, you can flick polish. And you don't want to start working it, I guess. So if you're going at speed 1, it's just a really easy way to spread the polish. So we'll just spread that over our little target area. That's done. So now our splatter risk is gone. Let's zoom in, boom, and you'll get a nice view of this. And what I'm doing is I'm now going to put the speed of the machine up to about 3.5. I was cutting at sort of speed 5, but I'm just going to polish out at sort of there, which is a nice gentle speed. And I'm going to do 2 slow sets and 2 slow passes, and that's it. So, because I don't need to do it anymore. So here we go. So I'm going to just, hopefully you can see that I'm not in the way. And that's it. And it's always nice, I think, to give you a live buffage. So I'm using these soft wipes. You just plonk it down there and just gently buff off the panel. It just comes off really, really easily. And there's no, see all that compounding haze underneath has now gone. We've got our final finish. You can give it a flip if you want, just to make sure, to be sure. And you can see, hold on, we had the best angle before, didn't we? But down here we have a slight compounding haze, and then up here we have a final finish. This bonnet. It's not perfect, but it's, you know, I've done a proper cutting set on it, and it's looking good. It is looking good. It's good on the chip front. There's some scratches under the paint, actually, I just talked about in the main video, but it's good. It's good. So yeah, that's a reflection, not a scratch. That's those bars. So GYEON Primer is a really good product. It's a really good product, but the real, it's a good thing to finish out with. So as well as giving you your final finish, the coolest thing is no panel wipe down. I just buff it, and I'm going to be leaving this, and I've got to cut and then polish the rest of the car. So I'm just finishing. I've done that wing. I've got to do down there on that side, in that little section there, and I've got to do that wing, then the front bumper, and then the front bumper is kind of finished out, which is a bit of a strange way of doing it. I know. Don't ask. And then I'll be cutting, so I won't have to touch this. It will just stay on the paint and cure off, and I can just coat straight on top, and that is a real bonus. That is, if you use a polish, that's not primer, you wipe down, and then really, just like a greasy plate, that plate has to go in some nice warm water and some detergent to really break down that grease. If you've got a greasy plate and you spray a panel wipe at it and wipe the greasy plate with a microfiber, you'll break down the grease a little bit and mop some of it up with the microfiber, but you won't get it all off. It's really that water and detergent that gives you the squeaky clean finish, and that's a pain, especially in winter. So I don't really want to cut this car, then polish this car, then have to kind of take it outside, or even inside. I suppose I could do it inside, but then use like water and detergent to wash the surface clean before the coating goes down. So primer is a really good option. In fact, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Why would you not want to finish out with primer if you don't have to degrease if you're coating? You can see it. You can see what it does, and you can see how easy it is to use. So the question is, why would you want to use a finishing polish instead of primer? Yeah, that's the question I don't have the answer to. I can't think of a reason. So there you go. It's a really good combo, actually. GYEON Compound Plus on the purple pad with GYEON Primer on the white pad. That seems to have worked well on this paint that I think is quite soft. So we've done lots of cutting with that foam pad and the Compound Plus. And then we've gone from kind of like getting the most cut that you can, and then going to the sort of like finishing step to get the best bang for our buck with kind of 2 sets of polishing, a cut and finish, with the odd exception where I've just might have missed a couple of little patches and gone back over them all. There was a bit there I had to wet sand and I still couldn't get it all out. So there's some exceptions. There's some bits that have been polished or cut a little bit more, but I'm trying to be relatively consistent that the car gets a cut and finish. So yeah, really easy products to use, just so easy. And I'm not plastering. When you're using a finishing polish and you've got a thin film, you're not going to like have to worry about polish in the edge. And with the primer, you're not really going to have to worry about any dusting, because it's just a sort of, it's not a thin product, but it just doesn't dust. Well, doing what I'm doing on the force rotation, it doesn't dust. So you're working clean as well, which is good. There is nothing worse than making a ton of mess when you're polishing, and I've done it. You just need to stick to your game plan. Stick to your game plan. After a while, if I carried on polishing, all day, I'm going to finish off this with this pad and the front with the 3-inch and the force rotation. But if I was then carrying on, you'd switch out pads at some stage, and then you'd put that pad there in the water like with those other ones so all the product doesn't dry in the pad, and you could clean it out and go back to that pad. You need that pad to be bone dry before you polish with it again, because water in the pad can fling out and it can thin the product as well, and it can affect your results. You just need to be careful when you're going back, and make sure you got squeeze it out in a dry microfiber cloth once it's clean. compress it, and then put it on the machine and spin it till it feels absolutely bone dry, and then you'll be fine. What other things can go wrong? Other things can go wrong. Constantly clean your pad out after each set, because that's just a really good practice. Switch out your microfiber cloths after you've sort of buffed. You know, you buff and you change sides and you've got 8 sides. When you feel like you've sort of exhausted all 8 sides, you know, you can switch, but this cloth would probably carry on going. Could probably do the old car with 1 cloth, but no, you know, probably 4 cloths would be good. You know, would be nice. That's a good amount. Other than that, guys, take your time, as I've said many times, and don't make a mess. And when you've finished, like before I go in for the day, you know, and I've cut and finished this whole front of this car, I'll just pop the bonnet up. I'll take one of those polish wipes, and then I'll just make sure that I haven't got any polish on the inside of the bonnet anywhere, or in any of the, when you take the tape off, you know, another little wipe down, and just make sure that you've got it all up, because the polish is easy to remove before it dries. If you leave it overnight and you've got like spots of polish somewhere and they're on plastic trim, the polish can dry and bed in. So always manage the polish is part of this as well, and just keep an eye on it. And this is going to look great when it's done, so I'm really happy, really enthusiastic, and just got to stop filming, stop talking, and get on with it. Over and out, guys. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you want to see the final finished car once it's all done, subscribe to the main forensics detailing channel. This is the unplugged backup channel, if you didn't know. Okay, bye.